Well, 3 Chapter 9 institutions will jointly conduct an inquiry into the acquittal of televangelist Timothy Omotoso and his co-accused, as well as other sexual crime cases. They raised concerns about the handling of gender-based violence cases, which they say could discourage survivors from coming forward. Newzroom Afrika's Nqobile Madlala reports.
The 3 Chapter 9 institutions, Commission for Gender Equality, South African Human Rights Commission and the CRL Commission didn't mince their words regarding the disappointments that came with the release of Timothy Omotoso last week. They say justice was not served, and their response is now to launch an inquiry into the handling of GBVF cases nationwide. Several individuals will be called to appear before the Commission.
Maybe the system is broken.
This, for us, is one of those cases that actually amplify challenges that exist within the system.
It's a systemic evaluation and interrogation of the whole criminal justice system. From the time you walk into the police station and you say, I've been violated by this particular man of God, to the time when the judge pronounces on the case.
The organization worry about the toll the outcome of the 8-year-long case had on victims, as well as its effect on other victims of sexual violence.
The psychological impact of such judgment must not be taken for granted, as they have long-lasting effects on the current and future complainants. Undeniably, this outcome is bound to make hundreds or thousands of other victims doubt the criminal justice system.
And they have questioned the structures in place to protect those who speak out.
Although there's this thing called Witness Protection Program, we realize how useless this thing is.
We've got only 3 forensic laboratories in this country. That is not enough. Considering the levels of violence, we need to find out how are they coping.
Justice is not being granted to the victims, and the victims are not believed because sometimes they say victims make up stories. And so the importance of justice for us, and that's the right of victims to that justice. And if those victims do not get justice, then their rights have been violated.
The 3 organizations saluted the late Pamela Mabini, who was recently gunned down outside her home. They said, without her activism, Omotoso would never have made it to court. They further addressed Sihle Sibia from the Wanele Foundation, who highlighted how small organizations that represented GBV victims are snubbed, as well as the lack of funding to support their activities. The CRL Rights Commission has made a commitment to look into the regulations governing religious organizations in the country. The Commission says it will make pronouncement next week, Tuesday. For Newzroom Afrika on Channel 405, I am Nqobile Madlala in Johannesburg.